Okay, just before we start, the purpose of this video is not to offend anyone, and just know that I was really young and stupid when this stuff happened, so just note that. I will also be spoiling bits of The House of Hades by Rick Riordan and The Poison Jungle by Tootie T. Sutherland. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but just note that as well. Okay, so I actually did not know what the LGBTQ plus community was and stuff before the summer of sixth into seventh grade, like literally. So please don't judge me on that. I was really close up from society. I didn't have a phone until like the end of fifth grade. And the only technology I really had and really still use is a computer for homework and occasionally phone for messaging. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. But anyway, so the first time I really came across the concept of LGBTQ plus was probably the first time I was reading the Heroes of Olympus series, or the House of Hades, where Nico D'Angelo confessed that he had a crush on Percy Jackson. So I was in third grade, please don't judge me. I thought that either Nico was a girl or Rick had made an error because obviously Percy's a boy. I was in my Percy Jackson phase back then, and that was the first exposure I had from LGBTQ plus, because like the other stuff I read, like in Harry Potter, you've never seen a gay character or stuff like that. The second time I remember reading LGBTQ plus, or my second real exposure I had, was the 13th book of the Wings of Fire series, The Poison Jungle, and it was about Sundew or Snoodu, haha, if you're a fan. She had a girlfriend. Her name is Willow, I'm pretty sure. And right there, reading that, I was so confused in that moment. So I decided either Sundew was a guy or her girlfriend was a guy. I was in fifth grade. Yeah, I know. But still, like, I really didn't. Anyway, fast forward, like, next year, it's the summer, we're going into seventh grade. So I was reading the Heroes of Olympus series again because I decided to make it my mission to reread a bunch of old books that I've read. So I had completely forgotten about that part where Nico confessed that he had a crush on Percy. So it was like rereading, it was like reading it for the first time again. Anyway, so we were just chilling at the park, my friend and I. We were just sitting there reading. I think the book she was reading was like The Cruel Prince or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, so she notices that I'm reading The House of Hades. So she leans over my shoulder and she's like, "Oh my God, I love that book. Did you get to the part where Nico confessed that he was gay and had a crush on Percy?" Okay, so in that moment, I had a couple of realizations. First of all, I realized I had no idea what the word gay meant. Second of all, I realized that Nico was a guy, not a misprinted like girl or something, but like he's a guy. And then my third realization was like, oh, great, she's read the book. So that one's not important. But anyway, after staring at her for like a full 10 seconds, I said, "What's gay?" So she stared at me. And then she laughed because she probably thought it was some kind of joke. And then she kind of realized I was serious, which I was. I'm sorry, but I'm just stupid. Anyway, she went into an explanation on the LGBTQ plus community, which I finally understood what, like, being gay, being trans, etc., like, what it meant. So that's just on my part. Anyway, so now we're here, and personally, gay romance isn't that bad. Just some personal opinions on it. If you're an author and you're actively putting it in your book, like LGBTQ plus material in your book, just to prove that you support the community, please don't. It's not like necessary. As long as you're not actively going against it, I feel like it's perfectly fine that you have straight characters, you don't, everything's fine. As long as you don't actively go against the LGBTQ plus community, you don't have to incorporate LGBTQ plus characters unless you really want to. So, but it's not a bad, thing that the community is expanding. People are accepting themselves and other people. But anyway, so me and my stupid brain, that's it.